Are you waiting for a housing market crash to buy your new home? Think again, because when it does hit, it's just not going to be prices that drop. It's going to be your chances of buying a home altogether. In this video, I'm going to show you why waiting for a housing market crash could actually cost you more in the long run, and what you can do to navigate this unpredictable market. I'm going to break down how a housing market crash doesn't just bring down home prices. I'm going to break down the real risks of a housing market crash and how it impacts more than just housing prices. And I'm going to give you practical strategies to be able to buy a house today without waiting for a housing market crash. I'm Jerry Norman with Oregon Life Homes. I know a lot of you have been waiting for a housing market crash. I get asked all the time, when do you think prices are going to come down? Well, I really don't, because if you look at the statistics, housing prices have continually raised over the last decades, except for in 2008, when we had a major housing crash. I know you've been keeping an eye on the housing prices. You're thinking about buying, and it feels like they're just going up. Well, you're right. And prices over the last few years have surged. However, if you take a look at what's really going on, in the last 2 years, the housing price growth has slowed, and in some markets have dropped a little bit. So basically right now they're kind of leveling off. Maybe you or someone you know is advising you to wait for the housing market to crash because they remember what it was like in 2008. And that memory wasn't too long ago, so it does make a lot of people nervous. And I get it. I was there too. So buying right now might feel a little crazy with the way housing prices are going. It just might seem a little crazy to you. I get it. And a lot of people I hear are saying, wait till the housing market crashes. But is that really the best advice? In this video, I'm going to break down why waiting might not be the winning strategy. So let's get on with it. All right, so first off, let's break down what causes a housing market crash. A crash is essentially the rapid decrease in home prices over a short period of time. This could happen due to several factors, like a major economic depression, a mortgage crisis, or an oversupply of homes. But here's the thing, when a housing market does crash, it's not just home prices that are affected. It's a ripple effect that affects the whole economy. And trust me, it is not good. First off, a significant economic recession can cause a downturn in the housing market. Higher unemployment, lower consumer confidence, and reduced economic growth can lead to fewer people buying homes. Imagine if construction companies stopped building, real estate agents stopped selling, and mortgage lenders saw a reduced number of loans. We saw this back in 2008. The situation is a little bit different today, and we're going to get into that shortly. Another big factor is interest rates. We saw here in 2024 this year, interest rates climb as high as 7 and 8%. Compare that back to just a few years ago, post-pandemic, where interest rates were 2 to 3%. That's a huge difference. Take a look at this graph. A $400,000 home at a 3% interest compared to the same home at 7% interest. That payment is going to skyrocket. There is a $975 difference just between those two interest rates. So when interest rates do go up, the affordability goes down. Higher interest rates means higher payments. And basically when rates are high, fewer people can afford homes. And this reduces demand, but it doesn't necessarily mean a crash is coming. It's more about affordability and the market adjusting these higher rates. Now, this is where things really get interesting. Today's biggest issue just isn't the higher interest rates, it's also the low inventory. In March of 2024, there was only 1.1 million homes for sale across the whole nation. A healthy market should be right around the 4 to 5 million range. With so few homes for sale and still plenty of buyers looking to buy, housing prices are staying high despite those rising rates. So even with fewer buyers in the market, the low inventory keeps the housing prices higher and even rising in some markets. This is a huge difference compared to 2008 when there was an oversupply of homes. So if you are waiting for prices to plummet, that low inventory might make you wait a little longer. And on top of that, millennials and Gen Zs are driving demand like never before. Millennials are at the prime statistical home buying age, and Gen Zs are just starting to enter that market as well. Even if interest rates are high, these buyers still need homes, so they're not going anywhere. And as soon as rates dip or the right house comes available, these buyers are ready to jump. This steady demand means that even if prices cool off a little bit, they won't drop off significantly. So if you're banking on a crash waiting to buy a home, you're going to be competing with all these other buyers entering the market, which will cause the market to heat back up. Now let's switch gears. Let's talk about homeowners during a crash. It doesn't just affect people looking to buy, but also to sell. Homeowners that aren't planning to sell can still even feel the effects. When home values decrease, so does their equity. That means if you're thinking about refinancing or tapping into your home equity, it's going to be a lot harder. Plus, lower home values also means less tax revenue, which can impact the local government like schools and public safety. So a crash could affect the community, even if you're not directly in a real estate transaction. So now you're thinking, what can I do if a crash doesn't happen? Because looking back the last 2 years, a lot of people that I've talked to have all been waiting for this housing market to crash. And now that home prices are starting to level off, a lot of people are thinking it's not going to happen. Well, I don't believe it is, and there's a lot of reasons why. And if you want to argue these comments, or if you want to discuss them more with me, leave me a comment, and I'm happy to get back to you on that and explain to you my reasons why. So what can you do now if home prices aren't going to plummet? You need to focus on the things that you can control. If interest rates are your main concern, which it is a lot of people, and I get that, because basically, like I said before, if your interest rates are high, then your payments are going to be higher, and it's going to give you a less affordability on your home. Your purchasing power is going to go down with higher interest rates. So what can you do? One of the things is you explore the rate buy downs. I've got a lot of lenders where a rate buy down can help a lot of people. It's a program that allows you to reduce your rate for the first couple years of buying a home, which will give you time to refinance when rates do go lower. I've helped a lot of people get into these creative finance solutions, even with today's high interest rates. So if you got more questions on that, don't hesitate to give me a call, text, email. All my contact information is down below, and I'd love to explain that to you. So now, those of you that are owning a home, you might be thinking, wow, this is a great time to sell. And is it really the time to sell? With inventory so low, sellers are in a good position. However, buyers are being very cautious. So if you price your home right, there's still plenty of demand. And there are a lot of creative ways to make your home stand out, like offering buyers closing costs or rate buy downs. Selling in a high interest rate market is more difficult. Homes aren't just flying off the shelves like they did a couple years ago, but it's not impossible. It's all about working with a great real estate agent and making your house look as attractive as possible. If you're thinking about selling your home, give me a call, text, email. I'd love to talk to you more about it. And if you are not in my market and you're somewhere across the country, I work with agents all across the country, so leave me a comment down below. We can get in touch. I also have a Calendly link down there. You can schedule a call with me, and I will get you in touch with somebody that really fits what you're looking for. Clearing up the myths. A lot of people think that the housing market is just going to make housing prices drop, but that's not really the case. There's going to be a lot more unemployment, which means a lot fewer people can buy homes. Now, if you are on the fence about buying right now because of higher interest rates or waiting for the housing market to crash, and when it does, are you prepared to buy, or are you going to have a lower buyer confidence like a lot of people did back in 2008? These are just the things that happen during a housing market crash. So instead of waiting for something that might not happen, focus on a plan that will work for today's market. You don't need a housing market crash to find your dream home or make a smart move. In the end, a housing market crash may not be the answer for affordability. The reality is, waiting for one could cause you to miss out on today's opportunities. Markets change, but that doesn't mean that your approach has to change either. If you're serious about buying or selling a home today or next year, give me a call, text, email. All my contact information is in the description below. Don't wait for a housing market crash that might never come. Let's figure out a strategy that will work best for you today. And with that, thanks for watching, and check out these other videos.